What's going on, guys? I'm Ethan.
I'm Marco.
And we are the Golden Goal. So today we are changing it up in response to some events that have happened in the past week. I mean, I'm sure most, if not all of you are aware of, the European Super League. Some of you may be aware of the new UEFA Champions League format. So we're going to be focusing on that and how we can prevent things that people don't like in the future, right? Like without promotion and relegation, or like without playoffs, right? With playoffs, like American style playoffs. Yeah. So we're gonna first start out talking about the European Super League. So it was last Sunday, I remember, when I first heard about the news about the European Super League, right? How it was going to be composed of, 20 teams, 15 original founding members, and then 5 more members. But it was kind of hard for me to comprehend that, right? Because, as a Liverpool fan, right, I didn't think. Right, I thought, the Champions League, the Premier League, right, they're all very good competitions, right, and I thought that, why don't we just stick to, the Premier League, the domestic competitions, right, because, this season, we're not playing like an elite club, right, we're not playing like an elite club, and Arsenal, Tottenham, they haven't really been playing like elite clubs. So I just don't know why, some of these clubs are considered elite, right? But yeah, it was just kind of hard for me to comprehend that, right? Also, a main thing was that it didn't have promotion and relegation, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is, it takes away the competition of the sport, right? And that's kind of the tipping point. But also, how much money would be put into the league every year, right? How much money each of these teams would get. I heard something like $300 million or pounds or whatever every year, right? So, which kind of, it's a lot of money, right? I'm sure if someone dangled $300 million in front of your face, you'd take it, right? But it was kind of like greedy, I feel, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I'll say my story, kind of like.
Yeah.
I originally saw this Super League on ESPN notification. I originally thought it was just a rumor or just an idea. Didn't think it was really gonna happen. But when I went on social media, kind of, I saw that a lot of people were talking about it, and I'm just like, wow, this is kind of important. So I read more about it, read an article, and I'm serious, this thing is really serious, and if these teams go out of their league, then there'll be less viewers for their league. Like if Liverpool, Chelsea, and those English teams went out of the Premier League, then they'll probably get less viewers for the Premier League.
Yeah. Also, it would mess up the whole English pyramid system for promotion, relegation, that stuff, because they would have to bring 6 new teams into the Premier League from the Championship, and then 6 teams to the Championship from the 3rd tier, the League One, and then so on and so forth, right? So then they'd wind up bringing a lot more teams into the different leagues, right? So it would be kind of unbalanced.
Yeah.
So that would also be kind of something they'd have to adjust with. But yeah, continue.
So then I started hearing more news about it. Then the fans are protesting and saying stop this Super League, and after a while, Chelsea is the first one to back out of this Super League,
Yeah.
and then followed by Man City, followed by a bunch of more clubs,
Yeah.
following everyone.
Yeah, by the next morning, there was only like Barcelona and Real Madrid left. So, which was.
And if you
really
guys
good.
didn't know, this Super League was originally hosted by the president of Real Madrid and Juventus.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah, they were both really rich by Real Madrid usually having a lot of money and even Juventus having a lot of money.
But it's kind of, we just feel like I feel like it's a bit greedy from the owners, right? They didn't really ask the fans if they would be okay with their team in this, right? I mean, if they asked the fans, right, got approval, right, from UEFA and FIFA before, they went ahead with these plans, and, maybe they could have made adjustments to these plans if they spoke to the fans, asked the fans what they wanted to see, right? Maybe that could have, gotten more people on the side of the European Super League, right? But, I mean, I just don't agree with it, right? I feel like so many teams in England, right? You look at like the fourth tier, right? The lowest tier where it's like actually still professional, right? You look at teams in that, they dream of playing against top teams, right? Like the Manchester Cities, Man Uniteds, Liverpools, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, you name it. They dream of playing against those top tier teams. And when you take those top tier teams out of the England, right, domestic league, right, out of the domestic cups, right, that dream goes away, and like you would have different teams winning it every year, right? But it's kind of, I feel like it's more exciting when new teams do win it, like the Leicester in 2015-16, right? When they actually, like 10 months early, like a year earlier, they could have been relegated, right? But then they bounced back, they stayed in the Premier League, and they wound up winning the title the next season.
I'm not gonna lie, guys, that whole thing should be like a documentary or a movie.
Yeah.
That's really inspirational, I feel like.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have been, they wouldn't have, if they were playing against like the better, like the worst teams, right? They wouldn't have been in the situation where, they'd be like 5,000 to 1 odds, right? It was something like that. 5,000 to 1 odds to win the title, right? They would be kind of expected to win the title, right? So it's kind of cool, like seeing, these teams that aren't expected to win the title do very well, like West Ham this year, right? They're ahead of, and they're ahead of Tottenham, Arsenal, Liverpool, right? The big name teams like that. So it's kind of cool to like. Obviously, it as a Liverpool fan, it kind of hurts me that when we're not in the Champions League or not competing for the title as closely as we'd like to, but it's cool to see like other teams get a shot at maybe enjoying some European soccer, right? Some continental soccer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But yeah, if the European Super League went ahead, right? The teams would, the bigger teams would be, or the like second group of 6 would be kind of expected to be in that top 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be anyone left for the lower teams to play against. So that may kind of hurt them, right?
Yeah, and in the end, really, now that the Super League is really gone, fans are like now protesting against their
Owners.
their owners about like since they joined the Super League. So Arsenal recently, they were protesting outside of the stadium, and saying like they're protesting against their owner.
Yeah, but
And Chelsea also, Chelsea, they weren't really protesting, but they were really celebrating because like saying like we saved football.
Yeah. But I feel like it all worked out for the best, right? But this idea can still happen in the future, or things like this, which kind of segues into our next point, which is the UEFA Champions League, the new UEFA Champions League, which kind of the new format, which kind of led to the breakaway of the European Super League, right? The teams were protesting against the new format, but so yeah, they're going from 32 teams to 36 teams, which it's fine, right? Maybe some chances for some smaller teams to get in there, right?
I guess
More
so,
chances.
yeah.
But then you look at they're adding one to the French league, right? Adding a Champions League spot to the French league, and then another Champions League spot. I forget what the second one is, but I know the third and fourth one is, kind of like the European Super League. It's two elite clubs that have failed to qualify for the Champions League, which just boggles my mind. Of everything that went on in the past like 3 days leading up to the end of the Super League, right? And creation of the new, releasing the new Champions League format, right? Why would you kind of want to anger the fans more, right? The fans were clearly against this the first time it was announced, the first time something like this was announced, and why wouldn't they be against this again, right? Why would their views change like that, right? I just don't think, I think it's kind of more of a money grab, right? Especially considering that, UEFA is probably going to make more money because there's 10 games now for each team, right? And there's no like specific groups, right? There's just one 36 team league. So, which could be dangerous. It could realistically be dangerous, right? You see some of the smaller teams playing against like huge teams in Europe. Like you see teams such as Ferencvaros or like Krasnodar.
What about like the team aren't there like smaller teams like in the Carabao Cup? Like what teams could be in the Carabao Cup? It's not just Premier League, right?
No, it's like the top. I want to say it's amongst all of England, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, like smaller teams. Smaller teams could be playing against these big teams in England, and it really gives them a shot to prove that they could really stand out.
Yeah, but in the Champions League, right? So you have teams like Ferencvaros and Krasnodar that could go against, say, like Bayern Munich and PSG, right? That could get out of hand very quickly. That could be, say those two are fighting for the top spot in the Champions League, right? For the top spot to move on to the knockout stage, like PSG and Bayern, right? Say one of them plays against like Juventus and the other plays against like a small team, like from like a league that nobody ever pays attention to, nobody ever watches because it's not like a big league, right? Say like the team that is playing a smaller team that nobody ever watches, nobody ever pays attention to because they aren't like a big team, right? That the team who's playing them is more likely to get the final the top spot opposed to the team who's playing against like Juventus or Liverpool or not Arsenal, like a big name team, right? So I don't know. And then we move on to the knockout stage. The top 8 teams, in the group, right, move on to the knockout stage automatically, and then amongst the next 16 teams, 9 through 24, or 9 through 25, something like that, there's a playoff, a 16-team playoff, right, which is very American. Same with promotion, no promotion and relegation, like in the European Super League, right? But yeah, I feel like they're Americanizing the European, competitions, right? And the playoff, right? The 8 winners of the playoff games would go into the knockout stage with the top 8 from the group, and then the rest of the teams would go home. But teams are playing 10 games in the group stages, right? That's gonna make more money from UEFA, more money, more revenue, right? And they could do like something else dangerous with that more revenue, right? So I feel like the Champions League, it wasn't broken in the first place, so why would you even need to fix it, right? You know what I mean? But it's kind of more a money grab, right? I feel like. But what do you think?
I mean, I really don't know. I mean, like, I really don't know what to say.
But it's just gonna be different, right? It's gonna be like if you're in Europe, right, you'll never hear like a 16-team playoff, right? You'll never hear that. And now that they're implementing that, it's kind of gonna cause more outrage for Europeans, right, who like the soccer the way it is, right? So but if it's not broken, don't fix it, but yeah, so something that does need to be fixed, we'll talk about, is how we can fix, not ever having things like the European Super League. Yeah, how to prevent
those leagues.
So I feel like one of the main fixes, I know I've heard this talked about like several times, but there should be in the American MLS, right? They should collaborate with the second tier of American and Canadian soccer, right? The USL Championship, right? Those two leagues need to collaborate, and they need to create like two separate leagues, right? The MLS is up here, the USL Championship down here, where there can be promotion and relegation between the two leagues, right? Say, teams that maybe shouldn't belong in the MLS, right, go down to the USL Champion. Teams like, teams, I know, for example, a team, Cincinnati FC, they've won like 5 games in 3 seasons in the MLS, right? That is just unacceptable. It's, it's taking, teams are basically snatching 3 points off of them, like week in and week out, right? Or snatching at least 1 point. So that, that must be frustrating for not only the fans, not only the players and the owners, but, for the MLS as a whole, right? Why would you want to go against a team that should realistically be placed at the USL Championship level, and have them you're getting points off of them, but it just gets frustrating over a while, right? So maybe the fans kind of would want to see a change of pace. If there's any Cincinnati fans out there, maybe you guys want to see like a change of pace. Maybe you would possibly like relegation promotion, right? Because not only would you be able to go to the USL, but you guys could get some form back, right? And then when you go to the championship or the MLS, you're better prepared to take on the MLS, right? Or, you know, there could be some teams in the USL Championship that are really good and deserve a shot at the MLS, right?
Yeah.
So also with the MLS, so the UCL, the UEFA Champions League, kind of, I feel like they stole the idea of a playoff from the MLS, right?
Well, it was basically going to be like the same from the Super League, kind of.
I don't think there was going to be a playoff in the Super League, was there?
No, it was like kind of like the same rules, I feel like, kind of.
Well, I feel like there shouldn't be
Kind of same
playoffs.
format.
I feel like there shouldn't be playoffs in the MLS. Because, you know, you see teams
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for example, the Philadelphia Union. Last season, they had an absolutely, you know, beltering season. Like, they were top of the league. They were very good. Very, very good, right? And then, first round, they go out, right? They lose. It's one leg, winner takes all. They lose that leg, that game, and they're out of the playoffs. Like, honestly, they should just award the title to the team that's best in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Playoffs, I feel like, are so American, right? And they're implementing them in Europe. It's just not the same. And, you know, you compare the MLS to the, you know, to the European leagues, right? The MLS is Major League Soccer. If they want to be a major soccer league, then they gotta kind of, you know, get with the program a little bit. Get with Europe, right? Catch up to them, right? Where in Europe do you see no promotion and relegation, right? Where do you see 16-team playoffs for the title, right? You don't see that, you know. So it just kind of, it's just kind of like, this needs to be a wake-up call for the MLS, right? I feel like not as many people are talking about the MLS, right, as they should be, right? Because the MLS is kind of setting an example for what some of these European competitions, you know, could, you know, copy, right? So it just kind of annoys me to see that, you know, the MLS is still, you know, doing things that cause outrage in Europe, right? Still has formats that cause outrage in Europe. But yeah, what do you think could prevent European Super League in the future?
Just for like the teams to like not join them. I mean, like, I feel like it could be that simple. But I could see like maybe a league for like maybe these lower teams, like not really the popular ones, but like maybe the lower ones to probably join a league. But I would see why they would want to. But for like, you just don't have to join them, and really, everything will still be like the same way.
Yeah,
It'll all
honestly.
be the same.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like, you know, the outrage, right? If people and players and, you know, all these teams, right, decide not to partake in these leagues, right, these competitions, right, then there will be no competitions, right? Like, because, you know, because Chelsea backed out, right? And players and managers were like, we're talking, you know, they're saying how they didn't really like the decision, right? You know, they were kind of boycotting or speaking out against it, right?
Yeah.
And without players and coaches, there can be no games. So, honestly, also with fans, right? With us fans, if we don't watch the games, right? I mean, yeah, I'm sure all of us would love to, you know, go to a game, right? Experience a game, or, you know, watch on TV. Because of COVID, you know, we can't go to stadiums or whatnot. But yeah, so if you just don't watch the games, then the teams can't make money, right? The teams will not be able to make money if, you know, if there's no money, you know, given to them, right? You know, they have to, you know, earn not only money, but the respect from players, from their managers, from fans, right? So, but if they don't have that respect, then they won't be able to get that money, right? And like they just have to, make better decisions. I feel, right? Make decisions, involve the fans, right? I've heard some people calling for partially fan-owned teams, right? In England, right? The Big Six could move to partially fan-owned, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to think. I can almost guarantee that in the future, right? Maybe it may be 20, 30 years, right? 20, 30, 40 years from now, right? Or it could be only like 10 years from now. Someone else will come up with an idea for a European Super League, an elite league, right? A league of only elite teams that stay in year out, right? But, if we don't prevent it as fans, right? If we let it happen, then, then we're kind of giving in, right? We can't be giving in to, things we don't agree with, right? So, I don't know. I really don't know. This whole week's been kind of a whirlwind.
You want to end on that?
Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to say we're kind of busy this weekend because it's my birthday. It was my birthday on Wednesday, so I'm 15 now.
Happy birthday!
Thanks, man. Yeah. And don't worry, next week we're gonna upload a really nice video. Just trust me. Trust both of us. You know it's gonna be, right?
Yeah.
And that's
that's it. But until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.